Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to kind of be discussing kind of a random topic, but I'm going to cover happiness. And the reason that I'm doing this is just because I think we're getting really close to going back to school, and a lot of times school can be a defining factor of how you're feeling. And so with that being said, it's also going to kind of focus on handling your stress as well, because school can get super stressful. Hopefully it doesn't within the first few weeks of you being there, but there are times where it can just really suck sometimes. So we're going to talk about ways to handle stress, and these are kind of the things that I do. And all of these things kind of started all the way back until the beginning of my sophomore year, so almost a year ago. I kind of took a different direction in the way I like to handle things, so I'm going to just kind of discuss some things that I've done that kind of really have helped the way I feel. They've helped manage my stress, and I think I've been a lot happier since then, but we're going to get right into it. So one thing that I really like to do, whether it be once a month, multiple times a week, or maybe once a week, I really like to journal. It's a really good way for me to kind of write down everything that I'm feeling in that moment. Most of the times I do it when I'm stressed and I need to vent. I'm not really big on venting to people at times, just because I feel like that can be kind of annoying. And I also feel like I can't always say what I want to say. And I always try to, script myself when I'm talking about things that really make me angry. So I journal a lot. I kind of write down everything I'm feeling. I hone in on things that are making me really mad, things that maybe really didn't bother me in the moment, but now they do, things like that. But the reasoning for journaling it all down is because it also helps me realize whether or not it's something worth being angry about. I write everything down and then I read it over, and so things kind of look a little different when they're put on paper rather than in your mind. So I kind of just sit back for a second, take a look at what I wrote down, and think about deep down, is it something that is in my control? If it is something in my control, then I write down how I fix those things and go about that in a routine process, kind of a step-by-step way of fixing it. If it's something that's not in my control, then that's when I learn to just let it go. And I feel like a lot of things people get worked up on are things that we don't really have much control over. So it is just really nice to be able to realize, is this something in my control? Is this something out of my control? And then let's fix it if it is in my control. So that is just one thing. Another thing that I actually learned in my sociology class was that we kind of have two reactions. We have one that is called an I, which is your initial response. That's the first thought that pops into your head when something happens. And then you have a me response. The me is something that you kind of change due to the way you want people to react. And then that creates yourself. So your I is your initial response. And the way that I've been thinking about this process is that I need to change my initial reaction for me to be able to handle my stress and also for me to be happy. So what I do is basically fake it till I make it. If something really is bothering me, I try to figure out a positive that can come out of it, especially when I'm talking to people, because that is one thing, what you put out into the world is what they're going to take in. So if you're just constantly saying a lot of negative things through your dialogue, that's going to make you an extremely unhappy person, because that's a part of your routine. Negativity does not need to be a part of anyone's routine, because the only thing that it does is bring you down. And so thinking about the way you need to respond. So your initial reaction may be really bad, but then you can change that reaction. You know in your mind, okay, that's probably not the best thing I should say. It's extremely negative. So how can I turn this into a positive way of speaking, even though it can be bad? And the way you do that, like I said, you're going to fake it till you make it, because the more positivity you put into your mind, the easier it becomes to come out of you, and also through your dialogue, like I was saying earlier. So if you're constantly thinking about better ways to go across a situation, it's going to be something that is going to become a very instant reaction, and it's going to become a part of your initial response. And that's something that is not always going to be super easy. There's obviously going to be times that really get you out of your character possibly, and just you want to go berserk, or you just are really upset about it. And I think that that's normal, but to constantly have the negativity, the negative vibes is definitely just bringing you down and not keeping you happy. It's keeping you miserable, and it could potentially be keeping the people around you miserable. So that is just something to think about. I mean, people don't like being around those who constantly have negative words coming out of their mouth or just really bad attitudes. And we find happiness within other people as well. So people are going to avoid you if you're being extremely negative. So with that being said, that is that for controlling the initial reaction. So basically, to recap that, I know I just kind of rambled basically about the I, the me, the self. But what I'm basically saying is turn the negative into a positive, whether that be your thoughts or your words, because at the end of the day, if you keep that in your mind and you keep thinking that you need to have these positive thoughts, it becomes a part of who you are. And that's the whole point of being happy, is positivity, good vibes, having a really good attitude towards life, things that come at your way, being able to handle every situation that comes at you makes you a lot of a stronger person than allowing something to defeat you. And I feel like a lot of times in college we have these situations where we feel extremely defeated, but that doesn't really need to happen. We can overcome these situations, we can change these situations. And yeah, I mean, I know I sound like a motivational speaker, but this is something that really kind of hones down, because I know I've been in situations where I possibly did really, really bad on a test and it just ruined my entire week. And the way that I have to think about things like that is that, okay, we have so many more weeks into this semester. I just need to kill the rest of this semester. I need to have the positive attitude. I need to believe that I'm capable of doing better. And that's another thing. You need to have a lot of faith in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't have any type of positive things to say about yourself, that is also something that needs to change. You need to believe in yourself. You need to be strong, and you need to have a lot of integrity within yourself. So yeah, I just think that that's really important. A lot of people, whether it be stress, anxiety, or depression, can get really, really down on themselves, but we are all human. Everyone's going to make mistakes in their life, and I promise that anything that is happening is not going to define who you are. What defines you is how you can react in these situations, and being able to change this negative problem that has happened to you and turn it into a positive, and you get through that. That makes you a lot more of a stronger person. And it's just a really good thing, I think, at the end of the day, to be able to get through any type of obstacles that are faced by you. And then one other thing, actually there's multiple things, but another thing that I wanted to mention was allowing yourself to feel down. So I know I'm talking about how you need to change these negative responses into positive responses, things like that. But one thing I do say is sometimes you do need the downtime. Sometimes you need the alone time to recap, and that is okay as long as you can come out of that and you're using that time wisely. I think that it's really important to find a positive hobby or escape that helps you bounce back from the situation. So definitely in the college culture, people like to party, people like to drink. And I think that is completely fine. It's a part of our culture. It's what kids do. It's what we do. So I think that's completely fine. But when you're trying to drink to basically mend how you're feeling or to patch over your stress, your sadness, that is not something that's going to help you. It's only going to harm you, because the next day you're still going to feel terrible. So I think that you need to find escapes within your times of feeling down. So like I said, I like to journal sometimes, and like I said, it's very random. So maybe I'm feeling really, really down one day. I have to write down what I'm feeling. I have to write down what's going on. And something's actually really funny. So I've been using the same journal for almost a year now. Like I said, I don't journal all the time, but I went back to the front page of my journal when I started, and it was a little over a year ago. And I was writing about how unhappy I was. And I think there are many reasons why I wasn't feeling happy. And I wasn't very positive about myself. I didn't have a lot of positive things to say. I was super lonely. I don't know. There's just a lot of things. I just wasn't happy. And I didn't like not being happy. I'm normally a really happy person. I'm normally someone who wants to be around a lot of people. But at this point in my life, almost a year ago, I was not. So it is really funny because I was reading it, like I said, and then I went back to my last writing, and it was actually pretty great. Like, I did a complete 180 of how I was feeling, and I was just writing about how happy I was. So I just think that we can all get out of these situations that we're feeling, and it's just kind of my little proof, for me at least, that these things that I've been doing have helped me a lot, and I feel a lot better than I did over a year ago. I feel a lot more better about myself. I have a lot more positive vibes, I feel like, that I bring out into this world. So that's just my little proof of like the things that I'm doing. And I'm not saying that all of these things are going to work for everyone, but I'm just showing how they've worked for me. I'm a lot happier than I was. But yeah, so like I said, finding your escape when you're feeling down. So whether that be, you know, having a day to yourself, eating all the ice cream you want, possibly watching Netflix, if that gets you to wind down, if that gets you to just relax for a second, I think that that is just something super positive to do. Me personally, I really like to work out. Because I work out a few times a week because I feel like it's a really nice release of all of the stress that I'm under, and it's a positive way to get the stress out. Obviously exercising is good for you, and then also, you know, of course, there's the endorphins, so you feel a lot happier. So yes, like I was saying, being able to do something really positive in your day that kind of makes you feel really good, I think is super important. And oftentimes I like to do things with other people. So like when I go back to school, I have one person in specific that I like to work out with her, and I like get through our entire day together. We go and work out, we talk about the things that are bothering us, we talk about the great things that are going on, and I just think that that's a super positive way to express how you're feeling and then just get through it. You know, you've done a positive thing. Working out is always just a really great accomplishment at the end of the day if you've done it. So that's just something I do, but it could literally be anything. Anything that makes you feel happy while you're doing it is probably a good thing to be doing. But I'm basically done talking because I feel like I talked a lot and I rambled a lot and I probably talked really, really fast. But I just needed to get this off my chest. This is something that I battle every single day. And I think that it's something that everybody battles with. There are things all the time that can really get you out of your character, that can get you sad, and you have to be able to overcome these things, and that is what makes you a happy person, being able to turn those things around and transform your mindset. So those are just the things that I do, things that I've been doing, and things that have just really helped me. So I really hope that this helps people. I really hope that someone can take something from this and turn their day around, turn their attitude around. But I am done talking now, and I really hope that you guys like this video. If you want to see more of these videos, please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel moved to do so. But thank you so much for watching.